Bitcoin reached another all-time high, touching $94,000. That is crazy. We're just shy of the $100,000 marks that a lot of people, not even a month ago, were thinking it was impossible. So with that comes a lot of preoccupation on my side because I sold a $96,000 call for Friday, and we could reach 96. We even have this comment right here from Crypto Ricardo and we were commenting on how crazy it is to sell calls on a raging bull market. But we also believe that because everyone is lining up to buy more Bitcoin, we should not see 100K for this week. And right as he says that 22 hours ago, just a few hours after he says this, and I said, my thoughts exactly, the greed is over the charts. Just a few hours after, we saw a huge spike in price from the 90K all the way to $94,000 for Bitcoin. So how are my calls looking? Am I going to close them? What is going to be done? And then we're going to be looking at also the heat map and also some news for Bitcoin from Michael Saylor all the way to Bitcoin news to $100,000. So let's jump right into it. Starting with the copy trading that everyone loves, we have 719 people on the 0DT and 500 on the Phoenix. And if you want to be number 720 is the first link in the description. We have no subscription fees, withdrawal fees, nothing, just a success fee if you deposit into the vaults. So only if there's profit that we're going to get the success fee. But if we scroll down, we are doing fantastic for the month of November, 6.11 so far with a total TVL of 812,000. So we're almost at the $1 million mark deposited into this vault, which is fantastic. If you scroll down, I actually deposited twice here by mistake here on the position. So as I said before, it takes 7 days for you to be able to close the position, but I'm going to close this one for sure. Just keep one because I already did the same mistake before. I deposited 49 bucks twice. That being said, my 500 is 714, 43% increase in the $49 that we deposited before. They are both at 20%. So fantastic returns in just a matter of a few months, as you can see here, September and June. Now, going to what matters, which are my options. If we scroll down, we see that the Ethereum one is unfazed. Ethereum didn't move while Bitcoin was going all over the place. So the Ethereum one is already 17 bucks in my pocket if I were to close this position right now. So not scared at all with the Ethereum one. I don't think Ethereum has anything to do near that 3,400 that it is marked. The $96,000 for Bitcoin. How does that look? Well, this one was $96 in the red this morning, right when Bitcoin reached all-time highs. But that being said, now it is at 20, and I do believe that it will be okay. Why? Why am I so convicted that this is not going to go to 96? Because if we look at the Bollinger, it is clear that it has all the space to go all the way to the $99,000. Well, as I said it before, we have been overbought by a lot. You can see here, since we cost us $68,000, we had no stop all the way to the 92K. No stop. And this is closing multiple legs, multiple green candles outside of the Bollinger, which is another sign, if you use with the RSI, that means that Bitcoin is overbought. It means that it will slow down, and it has slowed down for the past few days, and now it's trying to break again. But if you go to the 4-hour charts, you see that it is funneling, but it will not touch this. Again, going back to the daily, once we have a cross in the RSI, we usually have a spike in price, as we did right here, as we did right here, as we did right here. So all of these signals are bullish. But right here, we do not cross. We are actually seeing the purple going down here and not up. And that's even more clear if we go to the 4-hour charts. We can see that it tries, but it goes back down again. So it tried, lost momentum, and now we're going to go back in. What do I believe will happen? The liquidation heat map tells me what I believe will happen. If we go right here, Bitcoin this morning, or when I recorded, had very strong liquidation at around the 93,000. It did touch the 93,000. It liquidated a lot of positions, and it stopped right here at the 94. And then it went to look for the bottom of the heat map. As it did, it liquidated a lot of people. Now we most likely are going to be going up to the 94,400. But again, we are so far away from the $96,000. And once this is reached, we may see 95 and a half, 95 to 100, but I do not believe that by Friday morning, 8 a.m. UTC, we will be above 96. I do not believe that. I'm hopeful. I know for sure that we are going to see $100,000 Bitcoin, but not by Friday. Maybe still in November, but not by Friday. You can see it clearly that if we switch to the 48 hours, we don't have as strong as a heat map as we did before right here, as it is showing on the $94,000 mark. So that proves my point a little bit better. Of course, we don't have a strong bottom either, but we have been overbought for a while. So that should be clear that Bitcoin, in my opinion, I might be wrong, and that's totally fine if I'm wrong, because as I said, on Monday when we opened position, this was a risky one, but a risk that I was willing to take for the profit, because again, I'm going to be making 5.5% per week. That is fantastic. So looking at the heat map right here for Ethereum, we can see that the opposite is true. We have a very, very strong here. This is burning hot, 2.3 billion in total positions to be liquidated right here, and this will for sure attract Ethereum towards the bottom, towards the $3,000. We will see that for sure in the next 3 days. So going back, I do believe that Bitcoin should see 94 again, maybe even 95 if it touches that, liquidation zone that we talked about. But again, this right here is already at the very, very top, super extended. I think we will go sideways, maybe a little bit more this way right here, and I just needed to close below 96 in a matter of 3 days, 2 days by the time you're watching. Am I scared? Of course I am scared, but again, it is a risk I'm willing to take. And even if we lose money on that, remember, we'll still have this position right here that will go up a lot. So imagine this: if Bitcoin goes to 96, $100,000 by Friday, this one will go 100% in the green and will double my money. So we're going to be looking at almost $4,000 from a single option. So again, this right here is a risk I'm willing to take, because most likely I'm not going to lose the whole 900 bucks, maybe 100, maybe 110, which will be made back because I have these leaps right here that I'm profiting from. Hope that was clear. And now let's jump to some news. Michael Saylor, man, Michael Saylor is killing it with Bitcoin. He bought Bitcoin at $88,000 and he has been profitable. So everyone who was shitting on him when he was buying, and people were saying Bitcoin was gonna fall, now they're eating back their words, because Michael Saylor and MicroStrategy is doing fantastic. They're doing fantastic. And now he will be pitching at Microsoft on why Microsoft, which is one of the 5 biggest company in the world, why they need to have Bitcoin in their portfolio, saying that it will make it a more stable stock than it already is. So if he does that, imagine Microsoft, imagine all the top 5, all the big dogs of the financial markets start buying Bitcoin and holding Bitcoin as an asset of value. Well, Bitcoin can reach $200, maybe $500,000 in this cycle still. So he says that on a space hosted by VanEck. He says, I think it's not a bad idea to put it on the agenda of every company. It ought to be put on the agenda of Berkshire Hathaway and Apple and Google and Meta, because they all have huge hoards of cash. Of course, this is true. For example, Berkshire Hathaway with Warren Buffett, they are hoarding, I think, if I'm not mistaken, over $200 billion in cash, just waiting to buy something. So imagine if Berkshire Hathaway, if Buffett decided that now it's time to buy Bitcoin. That would be incredible for everyone, for all of our pockets to profit from this. In October, Microsoft disclosed that one of his voting items for next month, so December, will be about an assessment into investing into Bitcoin. So again, this goes back to imagine if all these big tech companies start buying Bitcoin as an asset of value. That would be crazy good for all of us. 100k Bitcoin, what does it mean for the derivative markets? Well, for ETFs, for example, ETFs, we're looking at options being released for the Bitcoin ETFs, meaning that even if you don't hold Bitcoin as an asset, you just hold the ETF. If you're a traditional finance guy watching this, you could be able to go on Robinhood, on Webull, on Interactive Brokers, Tasty Trade, whatever you use to buy your assets, your ETFs, and sell options on these ETFs, meaning that you're going to be able to generate passive income. And options on traditional markets are huge. Some say it is trillions to quadrillion dollars worth of money being generated and moved in the market because of the derivative markets. So imagine that, and now apply that to crypto. And guess what? You can do that for cheaper than doing that with the ETFs with crypto itself, with Bitcoin itself. How? By joining Bitopics. You don't need to wait to any ETFs. You can trade Bitcoin options right here, right now. So the market, as all of us, is super excited to see what's going to happen in this week and in the near future. Again, 100K Bitcoin by Christmas is not a dream. Maybe it will be even higher than that, because again, before Trump won the election, we were looking at $68,000 to $70,000 Bitcoin, thinking it was the thing. Everyone was super happy to see that number, and guess what? Now we're even happier. I had the leaps. I did a lot of trading on Bitcoin going all the way up. I opened one position on 82,000 and had it all the way to 88,000. So we already made money, and we are making money with Bitcoin. We are definitely becoming history right now. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you still believe that I'm going to be liquidated or I'm going to lose money in the calls that I sold, comment down below. For sure, Crypto Ricardo will see this and will be commenting. So I'll be chatting with you guys down below, and I'll see you guys on Friday for another update. Peace.